The rich people leaving. I saw hundreds of thousands of people were leaving New York City in this vision. And the Lord showed me David Wilkerson's face. And he said, remember what he said. Go look at what he said. I gave a word to him. And I was like, David Wilkerson? I have not even thought about David Wilkerson since I was a kid. I mean, it's not one that, I listened to. But the Lord said, I spoke a warning through David Wilkerson, a prophetic warning years ago. Go study it and find it. Now, I want you to hear this prophetic word from David Wilkerson. We have it, and we're going to play it for you.
I stood in this pulpit a few weeks ago, and it took every bit of Holy Ghost courage he could give me to say what I had to say, but I have felt this for weeks. I believe that New York City is in for 30 days of chastisement, such as America's never seen, any American city. I see at least 1,000 fires burning in every borough, every business that's on the brink right now deciding whether to move out of the city will move. There's a hemorrhage already, and the economic base is collapsing. We're a third world city already. I don't care what Mayor Dinkins says. It's a third world city. We have a murder every hour on the hour now, major crime every 20 seconds. This is Murder City, and I believe that we're going to see such chaos and anarchy in New York City coming. I don't know when, but I don't think it's too far off, and I don't know what's going to set it off. There'll be no planes, trains, anything coming in this city for probably 2 weeks. And all those who have money and are able will escape. And New York City, our crown city, because of its absolute rebellion against God, its absolute sinfulness and wickedness, is going to be chastised. And this is God. He could have sent hydrogen bombs from Russia before that society collapsed and wiped us off the map. But no, he gives us warnings. He slaps our wrist and said, look, I'm talking to you. And that's what AIDS is. It's a message. All of these calamities, they're messages. And God's saying, wake up.
So that was the word. And I feel like that word, when I heard that, I said, that's exactly what I saw.
And then I saw the protests that were taking place, that were still taking place in October. They went up another notch because the bystanders who were part of the protests and that were there, that were not being very, very violent and not really getting us involved, the protesters basically said, if you're not doing that, you're not one of us. And they began to assault those protesters who were not deemed as violent or as vicious as they should be. And I saw some of those protesters left on the side of the road, almost like they were dead. They'd been beaten because they weren't protesting like the other ones were. They weren't doing all those things that they should have done. If they weren't complicit, they were beat on. I saw the elderly people, and this is what got me. I saw elderly people being attacked. It was an attack on older Americans, the people that hold the Constitution dear, the flag dear, the people that have the common sense values, commitment to faith and biblical principles. I even saw people trying to get into nursing homes and nursing facilities to attack older people. That's what I saw in the dream. And then I saw a $100 bill, a big $100 bill about the size of a flag. It was hanging like a flag on a pole, and it was burning from one corner. And it was being lowered, like at the end of the day. And I saw people with their hands over their hearts, and they were crying because their god of money was just being lowered. It had lost its value. And it burned until there was about a third of it left. It was a celebration. People were celebrating. While some Americans were just devastated and torn up by what they saw happening, there were people celebrating that the dollar had died. It was dying, the value of the American dollar. There was someone even playing taps in the background.
Hello, Sid Roth here with Shane Warren, and Shane had a vision of the future of America. Shane, tell me, let's start out about the vision of the storm.
Approximately a year or so ago, I was sitting on the couch. I thought I had fallen asleep, when in reality I was in a vision, an open vision. I have a large screen television in my living room. I was sitting on the couch watching television, and again I thought I was dreaming. As I watched, there was a weather broadcast that was on television, and there was a news anchor who said, the most amazing thing is going on right now. We're going to go to him now. They pitched it to a news reporter. This news reporter in the eye of the storm, and as you would see in a hurricane, the wind is blowing violently and they're being tossed to and fro. He said, this is the most amazing thing. I don't understand it. This is not a natural storm. That was his words. He said, this isn't normal. He said, look at what it's raining. And he reached down on the ground and he's picking up and he holds in his hand a fist of $1 bills. He said, this isn't natural. It's raining dollar bills. And the anchor and this correspondent went back and forth about the meaning of this dollar bills. He said, I don't understand. It's almost like they're worthless. I saw with that riots begin to break out. Major cities all over America broke out in riots. People were rioting in the streets. And on the sign is, give us our entitlements. Give us our entitlements. And it was literally war. I mean, it looked like civil war within our borders, but it was all over the issue of the devaluing of money. And then, Sid, immediately I was caught up and I was sitting in a room with world leaders. This meeting, these world leaders were talking about how to devalue the currency of America by buying oil on another currency, with another currency.
One of the most important payment transitions for 2025. And if you haven't guessed it already, that transition is SWIFT's adoption of ISO 20022 and the November 2025 implementation deadline.